what they do. I am Josh Jones, ESQ, and this is Beats, Rhymes, and Crimes Live. Yeah, y'all, we got a crazy show today. Beyonce's mom got a divorce, and Beyonce is named in the divorce agreement. We got to talk about that. It's crazy. Got a lot going on. It's politics season. If you're into that, let me know. But actually, before we get to that, I'm Josh Jones, ESQ. Let me know where you're watching from. You know I'm live every week from the 305. And then once we get beyond that, let me know. Are y'all into this political season or not so much? So it appears that the race is official. Vice President Kamala Harris versus former President Donald Trump. And yeah, man, it's going down. So let me know if y'all are into that. Me, I read the headlines. I see clips here and there, but I don't know all the details like that. But I did see they did something. They did something. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday, where Georgia Democrats put their support behind Kamala Harris, and everybody does their thing. They play a little song, they do whatever, and then it's like we are here. We're going to support Kamala Harris as our thing. And they brought the boy Lil Jon out. Let me see if I can find that video, man, because I didn't plan to do that, but I could show you better than I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me know right now if you saw it live. I'm curious to know if you saw it live or if you already seen the video. Let me know. So, Lil Jon. Here we go. One of my boys did a really good breakdown of this, but he didn't give me his permission to show it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for y'all. She's don't want to watch that ad, but I do want you to make sure you got good car insurance for sure. All right. So here we go. Got your boy, Lil Jon. I don't think anybody saw this coming, as my son would say. So we're going to share the screen. And we're going to.
Georgia, how do you cast your vote?
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Five, get loud, another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what? Turn out for what? Hey, turn out for what? Yeah! Turn out for what? Let's go! Turn out for what? Hey, everybody get your hands up! Hey, everybody get your hands up! Hey, everybody get your hands up! Now, say, we're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! VP Harris! Come to the wall! VP Harris! Give it a wall! Hey!
Mr. Secretary, the South's got something to say. I'm Congresswoman Nikema Williams, chairwoman of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Georgia, the home of President Jimmy Carter, the cradle of the civil rights movement, where we fight for our freedom. Extremists in Georgia are trying to silence our voices by kicking Georgians off of the rolls and making it harder to vote. But y'all, when we send Kamala Harris to the White House, she'll fight for our freedom to vote, our reproductive freedoms, and our freedom to thrive. In the spirit of good trouble, Georgia cast 123 votes for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
So yeah, man. So regardless of what party you support, I don't care. But we can for sure say that hip hop has become mainstream because you would have never seen this year, not even that many years ago, 10 years ago, maybe. I don't think you could have seen Lil Jon performing for the state of Georgia's delegate, um, whatever you call that, right? I remember around 2004, my first time seeing hip hop really get engaged in politics like that, the voting, not even the politics, but voting with the Vote or Die campaign. Let me know in the chat if you remember that. I was still in college for the Vote or Die, right? So now, 20 years later, we're here and hip hop is on the main stage. I saw too, I mean, it's not just to be on the Democratic wagon, but I saw Donald Trump was featured on a rap song with a couple of artists. I know that Waka Flocka is supporting him big time. Donald Trump rap song. So yeah, he was on a rap song with a couple of artists. I don't even really remember who it was, but hip hop is definitely engaged in the politics now. So that's cool to see people. I don't know if it's because hip hop has come of age, I don't know what, but to see hip hop really participating in the process and not being left to let other people make the decision, right? So, and while that's going on, Dr. Umar says hip hop ain't never did nothing for Black people. I don't know if that's true. Let me know what you think. In your opinion, has Dr. Umar done anything good for Black people? Curious to know what y'all think. So, but let's go ahead and jump into the show, y'all. So, all right, we're going to start out talking about a judge denying Michael Jackson's mother, Catherine's appeal to stop the sale of his music catalog. So we talked about it a little bit before. Certain people wanted to sell. They've got professional trustees who are managing the estate, and against her wishes, and she says against his wishes, they're going to sell the catalog for about $600 million. She says that in front of family and other people that Michael expressed that he wanted the family to hold his estate in perpetuity, meaning forever. The people who are benefiting from his estate are his 3 children, Blanket and mother 2 people. I forget their names, but his children are the ones benefiting from the estate. So, you know, the judge said that her appeal lacked merit, and said, quote, "Here the will gave the executors broad power of sale with no exception for the specific assets at issue in the case. As such, the probate court did not err, concluding that it was Michael's intent to allow the executors to sell any assets, including those in the proposed transaction." So again, Catherine says that he said it, but he didn't write it. So key thing is whatever it is that you want for your estate to do, make sure it says it in writing. So let me know what you think. Michael Jackson made some smart purchases during his lifetime. He bought the Beatles catalog, and now we're going to see his catalog be sold. Do you think that his mom is telling the truth about him not wanting to sell? Do you think that should matter? The court doesn't, but I'm curious to know what y'all think about Michael Jackson's estate. So that's going on. Always good to have Michael Jackson news. Travis Scott, we talked about a couple of weeks ago. He got arrested in Paris. And we talked about him a couple of months ago. He got arrested in Miami for disorderly intoxication and for trespassing. Well, the disorderly intoxication charge has already been dropped, and now he's facing charges for trespassing. And his lawyer is saying that those charges should also be dismissed because he was not trespassing. He says technically he was arrested at a private parking lot near the Miami Beach Marina, but not at the Miami Beach Marina. So he actually wasn't trespassing because he wasn't there. Interesting argument. I did see that there was some body cam footage of the alleged trespass. I'm gonna show it Right.
Newly released body-worn camera video shows Miami Beach police approaching rapper Travis Scott while on a yacht back in June. Scott comes down and starts speaking with officers who were called after the captain of the boat claimed a fight broke out on the yacht.
I rented this boat. The owners came on this boat. They kicked down on my door at 12 o'clock. I don't know what's going on. Ask them.
They knocked on? I don't understand what's going on. There was no fighting involved.
No fighting involved.
After about 10 minutes, you can hear Scott, whose real name is Jacquees Webster, start yelling at people on the yacht while police instruct him to walk away.
This is my game right here. Everybody with me. 12 with me, baby. On the hood. With me, mama.
At one point, Scott approaches an officer and gets into an argument.
I said if I just stop walking, I'll stop walking.
He's then put in cuffs, officers telling him he's causing a disturbance. The police report stated that the officers could sense a strong smell of alcohol from Scott's breath and said he refused to obey commands. The rapper later poked fun at the arrest after bonding out of jail, tweeting LOL and editing his mugshot on his Instagram story, adding sunglasses and earbuds.
So there you go. You got the footage. He's saying he was scared of the police while criticizing them, but I mean, based on what I see, I can't imagine that this charge is gonna go very far. Trespassing is not a felony. There's no jail time. Probably end up getting tossed out. Maybe he'll have to do some community service or something, but always good to see when the footage is available. Who remembers last week we were talking about Disney and their lawsuit where they're being sued for wrongful death of a lady who died due to allergy from a restaurant at Disney World at Epcot. Well, in that case, they had raised the defense that because the husband of the deceased had applied for Disney Plus, that they couldn't go to trial, that they had to go through arbitration. So they tried to enforce an arbitration clause from a Disney Plus contract for an incident that occurred at a Disney resort and park. Well, Disney decided after the backlash, because a lot of people got wind of that they were going to let the lawsuit go through the court process and they weren't going to try to enforce the arbitration. And they had a quote. They said, "At Disney, we strive to put humanity above all other considerations," said Josh D'Amaro, the chair of the Disney Experiences. And he says that with such unique circumstances as the ones in this case, we believe this situation warrants a sensitive approach to expedite a resolution for the family who have experienced such a painful loss. As such, we've decided to waive our right to arbitration and have the matter proceed in court. So who thinks that's too little too late? Type 1 if it's too little too late, or 2 if you think it's a good result for Disney to just go through and let them go through the trial process. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But obviously their first inclination was to say that we're only here because we're the big name and we don't want to have to go through this process. So we're doing everything we can to defend ourselves, as opposed to worrying about this experience. Now they brought in their experience team who is here to, kind of do public relations and to make sure that the people are not too upset about what happened at the Disney World Park. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's Disney. You're not about to take Disney down regardless, but finally Disney did the right thing by allowing this case to continue. Another Florida case we talked about last week. This is a Florida heavy show, y'all. So remember the Ocala mom killer, Susan Lawrence? We talked about her case was last Friday, was in the closing argument stage. Well, after 2.5 hours, an all-white jury decided that Susan Lawrence, the Ocala mom killer, was guilty of fatally shooting her 25-year-old neighbor, Ajike Owens, who was a Black mother of 4. The incident started because the Ocala mom killer, Susan Lawrence, had got into some type of argument with Miss Owens' 4 minor children, causing her to throw a roller skate at one of the children, striking them. So obviously Miss Owens, being a concerned parent, went to her neighbor's house to find out what happened, speak directly with an adult, and she was met by gunfire. One fatal shot from a .380 handgun took her life. So This woman is now awaiting sentencing. She could face up to 30 years. And based on her age, she probably won't live 30 years, but hopefully her new residence will be her last residence, and she'll die in prison after the death that she caused to this young woman and leaving these 4 children without their mother. All right. Type 1 if you know who Blac Youngsta is. He's a rapper. Type 1 if you know Blac Youngsta. Type 2 if you don't know, have no clue. Just heard of him for the first time today like me. Well, Blac Youngsta was found, had charges dismissed this week. So back in 2020, he got arrested for possession of a firearm by a felon. And those charges are dismissed. He had a dope black lawyer named Carl Moore in Texas. And he says that Blac Youngsta is happy to get the situation behind him. He says that the district attorney did the right thing by dropping the charges and justice has finally prevailed. Well, if he didn't possess the handgun, then I would agree. But let me see, man. Blac Youngsta. And it's Black with no K, if in case you don't know. Because there's another Blac Youngsta with a K. But he got a lot of songs. He's out here putting up numbers. Got a song with Migos, Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj, looks like. So yeah, he's out here doing his thing for sure. And he's not even that young. He's been out for a while. But yeah, those charges have been dismissed against Blac. That's what's up. And Tina Knowles, we mentioned that she and Richard Lawson were getting a divorce. They cited the normal irreconcilable differences. Well, they were able to amicably resolve their divorce and, distribute their property. So according to the settlement agreement, Tina's going to get to keep her 2018 Tesla, a 2020 Bentley. She had a book deal with Penguin Random House that she's going to keep. She's going to keep a 1% interest in Kirby Beauty Management, LLC, furniture and artwork in her possession, and all creative work, ideas, drafts, and other accolades. Now, as for Richard, she had to pay him $300,000. He gets to keep a 2021 Escalade, all his bank accounts, records, royalties, everything owed to him, and all his creative works he also gets to keep. So everybody keeps their own pension, everybody keeps their own stuff. So it was pretty amicable. One thing that was in there, Richard cannot speak poorly on Beyonce. It doesn't say that explicitly, but their agreement has a non-disparagement clause. A non-disparagement clause is essentially a term that says that nobody can say anything negative about the other person, or whoever signs the agreement says they won't say negative things about the other person. This particular clause says that each party is prohibited from speaking negatively about the other person's children, the other person's spouses, well, each other's children, their spouses and grandchildren. So I'm assuming that their children's spouses is what they mean by that. Or maybe even their new spouse if they decide to get married again. So that's cool. Nobody's going to be out here doing interviews talking about, all the bad stuff that happened and how the other person's family was raggedy. That's not going to be a thing. And, hopefully each of them could find love again. I always like to point out the show Black Love does not have a good track record for people who were on it. If you were on the show Black Love, there is a good chance that your Black love has ended by now. So they were on that show, and I wish both of them the best as they move forward. Judge Mathis, let me know if you watch Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis was my favorite TV judge. Me and my dad used to watch Judge Mathis all the time, every single day. I believe he used to come on at 10 a.m. back when I was not working as much as I work now. We would tune in faithfully. Judge Mathis has a couple of different catchphrases. One of them, he likes to call people a crackhead. The other one is he likes to talk about people who come to court saying that they're suing somebody because they loaned the money and the person said they were going to pay them back when they got their taxes. You come to Judge Mathis and say either one of them things, he's going to roast you. Well, very often in the front row of Judge Mathis, you'd see his lovely wife, Linda, who would be sitting in the front row of the galley. But you will see her no more because she has filed divorce from Judge Mathis. Their 39-year marriage is coming to an end, also because of irreconcilable differences. And they're 60-something years old, so they don't have any minor children. There will be no child support, but she is seeking spousal support. So, we don't know yet if there was a prenup. So we'll see. I'm sure more information will come out, but wish both of them the best and hope that doesn't get too dirty after almost 40 years of marriage. Hopefully they can, maintain some civility. Also divorce and not maintaining any civility is my I almost feel like he's on the show because we talk about him a lot, but Tyrese is back talking about his ex, and I want to cover it. So let's do this. Let's share the screen.
Are you not aware of the damage that you caused? Shit. Let me spell this out for you. When you said this, when you did that, when you treated me like that, when you left me like that, when you this, when you this, when you that, can I call you and tell you about it? And if I call you and I tell you about it, are you going to be able to own and be accountable and actually process the trauma that you caused? She ain't got no way of doing it. But I just got another letter from her lawyers requesting that I send over all of my tax returns and all of my bank statements because she's trying to get $20,000 and I think they're trying to take it up to like 40. And they've been looking at all of my movies and all of the concerts and shows that I've been doing, and they're over there like blood-sucking lawyers rubbing their hands. And Samantha's doing the same thing, rubbing her hands, and they going, oh shit, for the last year and a half, he looks like he's been doing really well.
So right there, what he's talking to is why it's important, especially if you're a high net worth individual, that you should have a prenuptial agreement. The prenuptial agreement will spell out exactly what each party is going to be able to walk away from when or if the marriage is to end. And it's obvious that Tyrese did not have a prenuptial agreement, so he's going through it right now.
Let's go ahead and get them bank statements over here.
And when they come for you, you absolutely will have to fill out all of your provide your tax returns, fill out financial affidavits, turn over your bank statements, because they're going to be coming and they're going to be going through like with a fine-tooth comb to try to show why you should have to pay more money. So he's not lying.
We can figure out a way to get this law firm another $600,000 that we're asking for in legal fees. Okay.
So the lawyer is going to also be coming in, trying to figure out how they can run the bill up when they have people who are adversarial like this, because the less you agree, the more it's going to cost. So that's another reason why you should plan it out in advance, because if you spend a little bit more on the front end, it'll save you money on the back end.
So I'm going to close this out. I just got an email from my attorney, and my ex's attorney name is Adam Gleckman. He's the devil. She divorced me 4 years ago, August 2020. And she makes over $100,000 a year, close to 150, 160 at this point, because of all of her Instagram, social media. And he came to court, and they literally said in the courtroom that they've only got $5,000 from Samantha for representing them, for representing her for the last 4 years. They've asked her to give them $5,000 because she married a celebrity. She married a high net worth individual, and they're over there rubbing their hands, banking on a pot of gold. I'm out here stressed the fuck out. She divorced me. and they're rubbing their hands over there, hoping that I do more concert shows, movies, so they can go online, look up all the movies that
They know what you're doing, bro. They see you. They're following you on every social media platform, and they're gonna get your money if they can. So, man, he's got another 2.5 minutes where he's talking about this, but we don't have time to watch all of that. But I just wish instead of him making videos, we could just get some fire music out of Tyrese. It's been a long time since I heard a Tyrese song that was just like that. You know what I'm saying? So Tyrese, if you're listening, I saw you were at my alma mater, Clark Atlanta University, either earlier this week or last week. And I appreciate you going out there and inspiring those students. But bruh, please turn this into an album, not the black tie. We don't want the black tie. All right, no rap. Bruh, please make this into an album that we can all enjoy. Maybe you can make it into a learning experience over audio. That could be real fire. It's probably a gang of producers that you could get on the album that have been going through the same thing that you have. If I remember, Mustard was out here. He was beefing with his ex. It's a few other producers I'm sure that could jump on out here with you and would love to make the album for the exes paying that high child support. Let me know in the comments if you would listen to Tyrese make an album for the dudes paying high child support, produced by the dudes paying high child support, with features from dudes paying high child support. And even there's a couple of ladies out here paying high child support and spousal support. If I remember correctly, Mary J. Blige had to come out of pocket. It's a few more. List them ladies in the chat that y'all know paying that high child support or spouse support, and let me know if you want to hear them on the album with Tyrese. I think that'll go kind of hard. Ooh, I'm out here making up ideas for other people. And if you need a dope black lawyer to draft up some of these agreements that you're doing, go over to publishing, let me know. That'll be super hard. All right. Ty Rizzle out here doing this thizzle. So that's what we got, man. Starts out like a small town marriage, ends in Hollywood divorce. And I hate to see it, but it happens, you know. It's been a long time since I've heard anything about Breonna Taylor, but we did get a bad report with regard to some of the charges being dismissed against some of the police. There were federal charges pending against 2 officers. And the judge decided that they were going to be dropped because the judge did not believe that they caused her death. So the police officers involved are Joshua Janes, who's a detective, and Sergeant Kyle Meany. So they were charged with submitting a false affidavit to search Taylor's home before the raid, and then creating a fake cover story to avoid responsibility after Taylor was killed during the raid. But the judge says there's no link between the warrantless entry and Breonna's death, and says that the immediate cause of her death was the fact that her boyfriend shot at the officers, and then the officers responded with lethal force. So this judge believes that but for the boyfriend shooting first, that she would still be alive today. I don't know if that's true. Let me know in the comments if you do, if you think that's cap. These guys are not 100% free yet. One of them is facing charges of making a false statement to federal investigators, and the other has been charged with 2 counts of falsifying records, conspiracy to falsify records, and witness tampering. So that could get him 40 years if convicted, and the other guy could get 5, and they've both been fired from the Louisville PD. So obviously they didn't do something right. There's something there, but unfortunately the judge decided to dismiss those other charges. Another case, because we are policing the police, we got to keep up with what's going on. Tyree Nichols, who was killed in Tennessee by 5 black officers in Memphis. They're facing federal charges as well. And one of them had already pled guilty. One of the others has changed his plea from not guilty to, I'm assuming, some sort of guilty plea. Hasn't been released exactly yet. And then the other 3 so far have not. So for the first one, the prosecutor recommended a 15-year sentence. He hasn't been sentenced yet. And trial is pending, and we'll wait and see what happens, and we'll keep you posted on that as well. But that was another sad case where, it appeared that this guy was killed for nothing. They beat him and didn't allow for him to get medical help for over 20 minutes, and he ended up dying. So that was, I want to say that was January this year, but it might have been January last year. January 7, 2023 was when that happened. So, we out here, we watching, we keeping up, and talked with a friend of mine yesterday. He's handling a case where a guy got beat by the police so bad that he had his leg amputated. So when these types of things happen, we definitely have dope Black lawyers available who can help and, seek justice and go after the police officers who committed these crimes, these police departments, and, help you get to the bottom of it. We've been talking a lot about Thug. The Thug trial, actually, they are in court every day. The jury has not been there. Lil Wody, Kenneth Copeland, completed his testimony, I think, on Monday this week, but it might have been Monday last week. It's running together. But besides that, the prosecution and the defense have been in court discussing which evidence the prosecution intends to introduce. So that this was all planned by the former judge, Judge Glanville, where they'd have time out of court, out of trial, to talk about evidence and things like that. So they're arguing over which evidence is going to be let in. They've got to watch a lot of these things in court so that the judge can rule as to whether she believes that these things should be allowed to be seen by the jury. They say they're going to start back next week with live witnesses. The prosecution says they've gotten their witness list to under 200 people. And the judge is saying that it would be really nice if they can get it lower than even that, because some of this stuff is repeat evidence. So you don't have to bring in multiple people to say the same thing. If you had an expert witness that testified to something, you don't have to bring in another one. That's not good lawyering, and it's only actually going to probably upset the jury, if anything. So I'm pulling it up now to see if they're in trial. It looks like they are. There's a lot of comments on here. Looks like maybe they took some. Let's go to live. Let's see.
Sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get. I ain't gonna, like, I ain't gonna ask a word, but like, cause like, I don't even have to say your name. Like, she know who I be talking about. I don't be talking about nobody else, but I ain't gonna hit you on that motherfucker. Like, ever. You know what I'm saying? But everything really good though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I heard that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm like, bro, that shit was fast as hell. Yeah. Yeah, that's all it is. Just assume. Yeah, I already know. Like, when they got down, go to wiping down, doing them them, they gunpowder, forensic, all that shit out. Yeah. You gonna come back clean. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't tripping on that. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what they're doing all day. So all week long, they're listening to evidence to find out if it's something that can be admitted for the jury. And then eventually, see if I can fast forward some.
Is exactly that. That's the whole point.
Okay, so the short is that the alarm is at the fact that this person on a jail phone is saying something highly incriminating to them and sharing this information between them all. And the alarm in itself is evidence of the fact that this whole conversation is in furtherance of that conspiracy, which is the enterprise that is YSL and the criminal street gang activity of YSL. So none of it is hearsay when all of it is statements of a co-conspirator. It is their reaction to their
It's
belief.
still hearsay, even if it's a statement
I'm
of a
sorry,
co-conspirator.
it's a
So I mean,
exception.
at some point y'all are saying, this isn't hearsay because we're not offering it for the truth. So I know
I'm
that's not
sorry,
what you
I was-
meant,
I
but let's try to keep the terminology clear.
You're right. You're very, very right.
And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make clear, like, we
You're
got,
right, that's
we have got
important.
to all be clear about what we are saying and what we mean by what we're saying.
Your Honor is
So it's a lot of that too. So like trying to say things in a way where it sounds less. A lot of times it seems like the prosecution has been saying things to try to make it sound like what their argument is obvious, when actually what their argument is not even really true. So she said that it's not hearsay, which is a statement by a third party who, is not present or whatever. She's saying it's not hearsay, but it still is hearsay. So the judge is just, getting them together, and then the defense is going to come
absolutely
in.
right.
All right.
And so we are saying that there is an exception,
Right.
and that this is the exception that it falls under.
Okay. All right. And so again, I understand that the conversation between Stillwell and Garlington might come in under a co-conspirator exception to hearsay. The thing that is at issue is the relaying of Nichols allegedly having said, whatever he said, you need to line up a lawyer or whatever, you need to pay for it because we did this for Buddy.
Right.
And the concern is that either that part is being offered for its truth, or even if it's not, that certainly once the jury hears that, they take that as evidence that it is true.
Understood. So I
So
hear more clearly.
do I understand you to be arguing that that part of that is also co-conspirator exception, or no?
I need to address that part of it. So one moment, Your Honor.
Sure. Do I have the argument correct that y'all are propounding?
Well, yes. And if, while they're gathering this, Mr. Atkins is listening, I hope. So can I respond? If we break this down, here's what the sentences were. Garlington says, I talked to Funk. I've been with bruh. I don't know who that is. And I don't know whether that refers to Funk or bruh. And he had me on FaceTime. That could refer to either one of those people. What's up with Quay? That's the next question, next statement. Why the hell? I don't know. Quay on the phone saying something like, I don't know if he, and again, we got a he on shit.
Yeah, so these lawyers been fighting hard for their clients, going line by line, really making sure that what the prosecution is trying to do is above board, because the prosecution is just trying to let everything in. It seems like they don't know what's what. They're saying, well, all of this is part of a gang conspiracy. This shows that YSL is a gang, but they haven't really established that. They don't know who all these statements are pertaining to, and they're trying to make it seem like they do, and being able to get information in that should not get in. So shout out to the defense lawyers for everything they're doing for their clients right there. That's what advocating is all about. And we'll be back next week talking about that, hopefully with new witness testimony where we can talk about actual things that are happening in the case. And then what the Florida, we've reached this point in the show. This one is a little bit upsetting, but we need to share it nonetheless. So over in Pinellas County, which is part of Tampa Bay, it's the St. Petersburg, Clearwater side. There is a man, his name's Boris Twillman, and he's a veteran who was already out on bail after he was arrested in April for pistol whipping his son with a Glock, breaking his nose, and pushing his mother against a wall in March, according to the Tampa Bay Times. Well, just last week, or maybe on August 10th, so 2 weeks ago, and this is just getting to my attention, but there was a car crash where he hit a young lady's car. She got out, and then he hit her. So we do have some footage from that as well that I want to share. But what the Florida, man? Like, how you gonna be out here just recklessly hitting people like that, man? That's not cool, bruh.
A young woman is in the hospital tonight with serious injuries after a road rage attack. She was hit and pinned against her own car. The other driver is in jail, and the victim's family is hoping that he will pay for his actions. Fox 13's Evan Moon spoke to the victim's family tonight at Orlando Health Bayfront Hospital in St. Pete and shares their story.
Investigators tell us the man was tailgating the 23-year-old before he eventually hit the back of her car. And when she got out to check the damage, he rammed into her and dragged her. Her mother telling us tonight they will get justice.
She says, "Mom, all I keep playing in my head is him looking at me laughing and still running me over."
On Saturday, 23-year-old Jamaria Holycross was in the car with her younger brother and her boyfriend's 1- and 3-year-old kids when a man started to tailgate her. She kept trying to move out of the way, but he eventually hit the back of her car.
When he hit the car, she got out the car because traffic was stopped and she wanted to look at the damages. Well, as she looked, he proceeded to look at her, smile, and laugh and hit the gas and excel and proceed to run her over in front of these kids, my son and her boyfriend's 2 children.
The kids in the car all thought she had been murdered.
They were screaming and they were saying that baby girl just got killed. Baby girl just got killed. Her face hit the glass, and then the kids seen that, and all of it started pouring out blood. So that definitely was a bad scene for anybody to have to see.
Among her injuries, a broken rib, a broken leg, a broken pelvis in 4 areas, lacerations on her face, and burns across her back. 57-year-old Boris Twillman, a veteran, arrested for the nearly deadly road rage. The Largo Police Department saying in a statement, the suspect involved in this road rage incident exhibited extremely dangerous and reckless behavior, escalating the situation to a level that sent a victim to the hospital. This type of behavior cannot and will not be tolerated.
I mean, that's my main concern, is that I'm not burying her, but I feel like justice needs to be served. I just want justice for her. She deserves to have a normal life. She's a good kid. She doesn't get in trouble, she has a future ahead of her. She needs to live her best life. And unfortunately, this is going to be a minor setback, but she will get through this. I will make sure of that.
Twillman is in the Pinellas County Jail for an attempted murder charge, and he does have an extensive criminal history. The family I spoke with tonight hopes that he can't do harm.
So yeah, man. So that's crazy. Probably should have not even been out of jail, right? But at this point, hopefully he gets some serious time. That's crazy that he would do that. She's driving around with a car full of minors, her minor sibling, her boyfriend's 2 small children, and they had to witness this. They're going to need counseling. Sad, even more sad, this family has a $15,000 GoFundMe. In 2 weeks, they've only raised $12,000. So if you have the ability to help in any way, please help them. I've seen people kill people, and the racists run to support the GoFundMes, and they get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in a couple of days. So if you have even just $1, $2, $5, consider supporting this young lady and her family, because she's definitely going to need the support. If you're ever in any type of car accident like this, make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage, so that you'll have money to help you to go through whatever it's going to take for her to get the medical care she needs, for the pain and suffering, for all of the things that are involved here. Most likely his insurance wouldn't cover the claim because it's an intentional act by hitting her with his car. So You know, and to make matters worse, when it happened, they say he smiled. They have memories of his face lighting up and smiling. There's something inside of him that's just not right, very devilish. And I hate to see that happen. He does not look like he has any remorse. He looks like if you let him out, he will do it again. So please, judge, whoever is going to be handling this case, please don't show any type of sympathy to this man. They say he's got a long, lengthy criminal record. And yeah, that's all we got. I hate it, but that's all we got. I hate to end the show on a note like that. Usually with the Florida, something that's like a silly Florida man crime, but that's what we had to end with today. If you have any, questions about any legal matters, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you. We have legal counsel all over the country. We've been connecting people with lawyers, and we can do the same thing for you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Appreciate you tuning in today, and we'll holler at you next